What's up, guys? Today in this video, I got my good friend here, Edward Ornelas. He is a cryptocurrency expert and investor. And over the last year, he started with $2,000. And how much are you at right now with crypto? Almost
reaching close to about $1 million now. Pretty
yeah,
cool.
his cryptocurrency portfolio is almost close to $1 million at this point. And that's why I had to get him on here. He is literally the best person that I know when it comes to cryptocurrency. So I had to get him on here because you guys know that crypto is just absolutely blowing up right now. As of this last week, though, it's not been blowing up. But it's going to keep growing over the next couple of years. And it's just really important thing that I knew that I had to have on my channel because I'm invested in myself. And it definitely is one of the best money-making opportunities in 2018. I've literally seen so many people reach six figures in literally in a couple months' time with cryptocurrency. Like, I've never seen this with any other kind of online business. And when you think about it, the crypto market right now, there's so many more people getting into it than is coming out. So for the most part, you can make bad investments. You definitely can.
Right.
But the risk to reward ratio is so much lower. Like, if you invested in the cryptocurrency market as a whole, you'd be pretty much gaining money. But besides that, I thought it was really important to make this video, and I gotta get Edward talking and trying to give you guys as much tips as possible in this because he really knows just about everything. Like, he's a true expert here. You're gonna see all these people on YouTube that they're like they're gonna say they're like gurus and stuff, giving you like the worst coins to invest in ever. But he's one of the guys that has been in it since the beginning. He really knows his stuff. He does his research when it comes to coins. And he's never going to recommend you something that he hasn't personally done the research in. So we're going to basically go over his story and exactly how he turned $2,000 into almost $1 million with his cryptocurrency portfolio. So Edward, let's give us a quick introduction and see like how you got started with crypto and even maybe a little bit before that.
Sure, no problem. So I got started into crypto about almost a year and a half now. It goes by quick, honestly, but I used to be invested into the stock market. That's where my fundamentals of trading kind of comes into play. And so about last year, November, or I should say 2016, November, it's the new year. But in 2016, November, I had friends introduce me to cryptocurrency. They were talking about Ethereum because Ethereum was the new platform for ICOs. And at the time, I didn't know what any of that meant or what it referred to. But it got me interested. I saw it was a good potential. Of course, a lot of people, they were talking about how it's an unregulated market, so it's kind of like the big issue or whatever. And so I was kind of just, watching it from the, from afar. I was just jumping into forums, kind of learning about it, but not really like invested into it because I wasn't quite confident yet. It wasn't until Ethereum started making moves around, I want to say February. It was around February because for the longest time it was at around $10, $15 or so. And so once it started jumping from $10 to $20, coming from the stock market, all right? In the stock market, you're lucky to get about 10% return a year.
Exactly.
So to see something like just double in like a short period of time, I was like, okay, this is pretty ridiculous. I was beginning to get interested into it. And so my first investment was really Ethereum. From that point on, it had jumped towards like $225 before it started pulling back. And then, of course, from there, you learn all your mistakes, start to understand the whole market, and that's why we're here today. It's been a crazy run, honestly.
Yeah, it's literally insane. Like, Ethereum's over $1,000 at this point. Yeah. And I'm sure you've held it the whole time, knowing you. But besides that, like, what was the next step after you started to like invest into Ethereum a little bit, and like, how did you actually start learning about it?
Yeah, so honestly, a lot of it was through trial and error. For me, coming from the stock market, it was different volatility. Suddenly, a lot of these signals that I was used to using, a lot of the strategies and indicators, they were still at play, but you had to adopt to it. The adoption was the big part about it. Suddenly, like the markers that you're used to, using, suddenly they were just different. So you had to like really learn, adopt into it, understand the different volatilities and implementations. Understand that there's bad coins, there's good coins, to do your research. Like, suddenly there's just much more into it. There's ICOs, which, if you guys don't know, ICOs essentially are initial coin offerings, much like IPOs. It's just a way for people to raise money for startup projects, under Ethereum. So that's also another way for you guys to earn a lot of money. Of course, there's a lot of shit ICOs, but there's also really good ones that have large potentials. That's also helped me in the long run. And so that's why me and Michael, who's my business partner, we run a Facebook group that we've helped a lot of people in the short run. I know we've had students that in just 2 months they've managed to hit six figures, just because they learned the fundamentals that we teach. And from that point on, like, it's been phenomenal. It's amazing to me. Like, more so than just knowing the information, I think it's actually just helping people to get to where they want to be. And it's just been a crazy journey.
Yeah, exactly. It is crazy. So if you guys, I'm actually going to put a link to Edward's YouTube and his Facebook group down in the description below. So I'll leave that there for the end of the video. But what was some of the coins that you started to get into after you like first got into Ethereum?
So Ethereum, like, in my head, I thought to myself, like, well, if one coin does this, how many more can I do? And so you hop online, you get onto like coinmarketcap.com. You think to yourself, like, oh, there's all these possibilities. So I think the first afterwards I did like Digibyte, which was a really trash coin. So I ended up losing like half my portfolio from that point. I was like, oh. And so like I was like, okay, I gotta really start understanding more things about it. But then from there, again, trial and error. And then I think my biggest gain was definitely Neo. It was back in June. It was like mid-June where like I had made like $30,000 that month. Just in 1 month, I made like $30,000, $50,000. And from that point, I was like, all right, I'm starting to ball. This is really starting to get serious. And so that's when I think at that point I started influencing people as well. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, cryptocurrency. Like I'm like, yeah, dude, jump into it, get into it. So just from there, I just started seeing some significant gains. And the biggest, I think, thing out of it is the fact that you can compound your money. All right, so on top of already earning that money, you reinvest that money and it compounds. Suddenly, you're 2xing that 2x. That 2x becomes a 6x, 6x, 10x. And so that's why in a short period of time, you're able to see significant profits. And so I always advise people that you don't need a lot of money to make a lot of money in this market. There's so many opportunities. And if you all time in statistics, like only 1% of Americans in America were investing into cryptocurrency. When I started, it was less than 1%. It was like 0.5% maybe. And so and even to this day right now, it's just, there's still so much opportunity. We haven't even hit $1 trillion market cap. The average markets worldwide are in like 10, 20 trillion dollars, so we still have a long ways to go. Not to mention this is a global economy. So there's still a lot of opportunity for everybody to hop on and start making pretty good profits,
Yeah, 100%. So what would you kind of recommend to a beginner to start learning and like starting getting into crypto? Like what would you suggest to them to like get started? Let's say they have like $500 to $1,000 to invest.
Sure. Well, before you get started investing, I want you guys to understand the background behind blockchain technology. That to me is the best and most core fundamentals you guys can learn. The best way to do it is actually just by hopping on to Netflix, typing in Banking on Bitcoin. That is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. When that first thing came out, I was like, wow, like, yeah, they laid it out pretty nicely. They laid it out to where it makes sense for a lot of people. And so to me, that's just the first step. Secondly would be to join our Facebook group. That's, shameless plug there. But, just understanding the fundamentals of what blockchain, what makes its technology, and what gives it value. I think a lot of people, they fail to see where the value comes from in this market, and so a lot of times they kind of dismiss it. So once you get that out of the way, secondly, I think it would be to start understanding the volatility. So, maybe start by just buying Bitcoin, because Bitcoin by far right now is the largest hedge, as they call it. And just understand how far it goes up and down, just really understand, read the charts, learn like the technical analysis. That's why I was pushing it, because that's my strongest hold, is learning technical analysis, where it helps you invest into this market without going into it blindly. So you're able to do smart decisions, smart strategies, and over time, that's how you become really, just really profitable in the long term. Yeah, so that's something I recommend. So. Hope that helps.
No, 100%. And guys, if you're watching this still right now, you need to like listen to the kinds of things that he's saying, because he's giving you real advice. He's not saying like, oh, jump on these hype coins and stuff like that you're gonna see a bunch of these people doing. Jump on my lending program, use my affiliate link. Like, this is all money that he made himself. He didn't make any of this from like referrals or anything like that. This is all just like pure real investments into good coins. So. That's right. When it comes to this is like the best long-term play you can have.
Exactly. And just to kind of like back off that, like a lot of people, they think in order for you guys to make large amounts of money, you need to like drive people in it. Like I have family members, they always tell me like, Edward, how'd you make this much money? Are you referring people under you? Are you getting them to like hop onto your, I'm like, no, this isn't like a pyramid scheme. This isn't a Ponzi scheme. This is just an open market, where it's just so volatile. So that's something you guys have to understand. Like there's just so much opportunity for everybody, anybody really.
Yeah, 100%. So what would be some of your top coins that you would recommend, like right now? What's today, like January 16th?
So for me,
17th?
like first and foremost, like I mentioned, like I think Neo, for me, it's just one of those long-term holds that I've been holding for a very long time. If you look at its core fundamentals, it's bound to be like the next Ethereum. It's going to pull eventually $1,000. That $1,000 marker. I mean, of course, that's long term. So like by the end of the year, that's not to say it's going to happen like next week or anything. But for me, top coins, it really depends. You always got to be on top of the market because it switches up really, really fast. I know this past month, me and Michael and the whole group, we pulled in roughly 2,500%, 3,000% into the market. And so it was just a combination of coins from like ICX, ADA, Cardano, ELF. I mean, it really, but if you were to invest in those coins right now, it would be a little too late because they have already done the run for the short run. And so I think for the term being, if you guys are watching this video, I'm not sure when it's going to be uploaded, but I think your safest bet, your safest hedge is to invest into just Bitcoin right now because Bitcoin, so there's this little like funny thing that goes on. When Bitcoin goes up, a lot of the other coins in the market, they tend to go down. So you want to be able to kind of like bounce off of each other, where Bitcoin's going down, hop onto the other coins, and so forth and so on. That's how you're able to do some trades in the long term.
Yeah, 100%. All right, awesome. And I was wondering real quick, what did you? I'm probably gonna cut this out, but I was wondering what you thought of ELF long term.
ELF is a really good one. I think I like the core fundamentals again. I back off of it. So it is a good long term hold coin, but in the short term, we knew that it was going to pull back because it did its run. So again, we like to just kind of bounce back and forth off of it because its technology is really powerful. They do have pretty good developers behind it. I believe they have made some pretty good strong partnerships as well. So those are important like details that you guys want to be looking at behind every coin. Its partnerships, its developers, its team, and so that's going to determine whether it's going to be an A grade coin. That's just a start. That's not to determine whether it's going to be a good coin that's going to pump or not, but that's just one of the good indicators that I like to look at.
Yes, exactly, and that is one of the biggest things ever. Like the research is everything. Like you can, a coin can really have the best charts ever, but if you don't have the research, you never know what it's going to be doing next.
Exactly, and that's something I want to point out as well is that majority of the time I'm not spent like sitting down on a computer just trading coins. I'm not day trading, guys. I'm swing trading. That means it's week spans that I'm holding a coin out, and I don't look at it for a long time. But what I am doing most of the time is research. That's where you want to be like doing the majority of the time because that's how you stay ahead of the market. You look at coins that's going to pump in the future, not coins that have already pumped. That's how you get burned. Because if you hop onto coins that are already going up, eventually what goes up must come down. So that's why I always advise people like you want to be looking at coins that haven't yet pumped, that are undervalued. That's the key term.
Yes, exactly. And this is one of the things that I want to do this if you could just get into it.
Sure.
If you lose a little bit of money, don't just like give up. I've started to like come across that a little bit, and that same thing happened when I first started with the stock market because you just gotta learn it a little bit. So be like prepared for that. You're not gonna just hit it your first time, like knock it out of the park unless you get. I mean, you can get a little bit lucky for a little bit, but at the same time, it really takes a lot of, I don't know what to call it, because you get, like, when you're actually doing it, it seems a lot easier to, like, just buy low and sell high, but when you're actually doing it, it's a lot harder than it actually seems. So you have to be really dead on when you actually make your decisions and not be thinking emotionally. You got to think, like, really tactically.
Right. That's right, exactly. You don't want to be putting emotion into this. A lot of times, that's what kills a lot of people is that maybe perhaps they're underwater, but right before, right after the sell, that thing just reverses and pumps back up. And if they would have just held, just a little bit longer, that they would have been okay. But again, that's where I think, like I mentioned earlier, technical analysis, that to me is where it's everything, because knowing when to buy, when to sell, just looking at the charts and understanding the charts, that's when you start to become a lot more profitable. That's when that's when everything just changes for you, everything completely.
All right. Yep, exactly. All right, guys. So we're going to end it there. And I want to thank you so much, Edward, for taking the time to do this, because it's really helpful for not only me, but also like the ton of people that are going to watch this. So I'm really excited for you guys. And if you have any questions for Edward, make sure you leave them down in the comments below. And like I said, I'm going to be putting his YouTube channel in the description, his Facebook group, and I'll also put an affiliate link to his course. So if you decide to get it after you check out the group, after you check out his YouTube page, if you later decide to get it and you found him through me, you can use that affiliate link. Now, I don't really care about the money that much, and know that Edward, like, he didn't make the course just to make the money. Like, this dude's already making so much more from crypto itself. He could just spend more time doing that. But the real reason he made it is because, like, to help other people to be able to do what he's doing. That's the real reason he did it. He's one of the very few people that actually know that created a course purely for just genuinely helping people. So I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come on here. So thank you.
Man. I'm glad to be on here, man. Appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a great day. We're out.
See you later, guys.